We're looking forward to our program today in collaboration with Music from China, which has been a very long time coming. We started this conversation probably about 2 years ago. So I'm really excited that this is happening, honoring the incredible Jewish community of Kaifeng, China, which is over a millennium old and an incredible example of both cultural assimilation and preservation in a new land. And this is especially close to our hearts here at Eldridge Street as we make it our mission to convey how Jewish immigrants did the very same thing here on the Lower East Side after fleeing persecution in Eastern Europe. Please take this time to silence all of your electronic devices, and please join me in welcoming Music from China's Susan Chung to introduce the music you're about to enjoy. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Susan. Last name is Chang, or Zhang. And I live down here, right in Chinatown. I actually grew up here in Chinatown. And I'm the founder and director of this group called Music from China. And so we want to thank the museum at Eldridge Street for inviting us to do this concert, which features a new composition by David Serkin Ludwig called a Kaifeng Siddur. And it also features the traditional and contemporary works of music from China. And so at this time, I'd like to ask our musicians come on the stage, and I'll introduce each one and the instruments that they play. So this is Wang Guowei, who is also our artistic director, and he's an erhu-player, and he also composes. So the erhu is a vertical fiddle played with a bamboo stick bow, which is draws left to right, and using his fingers to put pressure on the hair of the bow to make it sound. And so it's a vertical fiddle with a snakeskin resonator, which gives us a very unique timbre. Okay, and then across from him is Hong Da Qin, who plays the bamboo flutes. So there's a whole variety of bamboo flutes. Some are transverse, some are vertical or end blown. So, and the transverse bamboo flute is called dizi, and it has a hole which is covered by a membrane, and you can hear the vibration of the membrane as it's being played. And in the center, we have Sun Li, who plays the pear-shaped lute, a very ancient Chinese plucked string instrument, and only has 4 strings, and is played by wearing plastic nails on the right hand to pluck the strings. So that's a very unique Chinese way of playing these plucked instruments. And I will join the musicians in the first piece with an instrument. You'll see when I come bring it up. And it's called Da Ran. It's a big moon guitar. And because its size is big, it has a bass sound. So it kind of provides the bass sound for this little ensemble. So we're going to begin with our traditional repertoire. And the first piece we play is called Wedding Processional, a wedding song. And it's in a genre of folk ensemble music that is called Si-zhu, which means silk and bamboo music. Because it comes from the region south of the Yangtze River, which is called Jiangnan, so this is called Jiangnan Si-zhu. And Wedding Processional is one of the 8 major pieces of Jiangnan Si-zhu. In this music, everyone is playing together, playing the same melody. But within this unison, there is a lot of room for individualism, a lot of give and take, according to the instrument. So this tune is traditionally played by musicians who are hired to accompany the bridal sedan on its way to the groom's house. That's where the ceremony will take place. So here is Wedding Processional, and the Chinese name is Xingjie. Now we switch to something quite different from this folk music. There's a Chinese poet called Wang Guowei. Besides being a poet, he was a musician, a painter, and a politician during the Tang Dynasty. Let's see our politicians compare to that. So he was one of the most famous men of arts and letters of his time. And one of Wang Guowei's poems called Wei Cheng Qu, which means a song at the city of Wei. This was set to music. And it was called, in his days, called Yangguan Sandie, which means 3 refrains on the Yang Pass. The most famous version of this melody is based on music for guqin, which is the favorite instrument of the Chinese scholars. So in other words, this music, even though it started in ancient times, has been preserved to the present day through music of the guqin, which is a very small 7-string zither, which is played by very, I guess, eclectic group of players, because not many people play this instrument anymore. And in this poem, Wang Guowei is bidding farewell to a friend, a good friend, possibly a fellow poet. And this is what the poem says. A morning rain has settled the dust in Weicheng. Willows are green again in the tavern dooryard. Wait till we empty one more cup. West of Yang Gate, there will be no old friends. So we are presenting this piece for erhu solo, but with a pipa accompaniment written by Wang Guowei. And later, when we perform David's piece, a Kaifeng Siddur, you will come across this melody again. So here is Yangguan Sandie, 3 refrains of the Yang Pass. Our next song is called Ambush on 10 Sides. This is a virtuoso solo piece for the pipa. It is classified as a wuqu, which means a martial style of pipa music in the classical tradition. In this solo, the pipa player tells the story of a historic battle that took place in the 3rd century BC, which resulted in the founding of the Han Dynasty, which is one of the major dynasties in Chinese history. The music is highly theatrical, dramatic. It uses the pipa's left and right hand techniques and acoustical effects to create the sounds of battle, which includes drums rolling, the formation, call to the front, clashing of arms, cries of soldiers and horses, ambush, and the eventual march to victory. This is one of the most celebrated grand works in the pipa repertoire. So please welcome Sun Li, Ambush on 10 Sides. Now we invite Wang Guowei to come to the stage to perform an erhu solo called Song of Henan. We include this piece on the program to relate the Kaifeng Jewish community with life among the Chinese people. The city of Kaifeng, which is located in Henan province, was the ancient capital of China during the Northern Song Dynasty. And another very important reason why we chose this piece is to demonstrate how the vocal quality of the erhu relates to the spoken words or dialect of a geographic area. So in doing so, it reflects the particular musical characteristics of that region. So the erhu's voice-like timbre is reinforced by the frequent use of slurs and sliding notes. So borrowing from folk and yu opera tunes of Henan province, the composition kind of imitates or insinuates the local speech and operatic singing to create a playful tableau of folk life. One can imagine the sounds of a village gathering with people talking, laughing, and watching an opera performance. This is Song of Henan. in contrast to the martial style of ambush on 10 sides, this following song, called Moonlit River in Spring, is of the wenqu, or civil style of pipa music. So these are two opposing styles, martial and civil. So in this piece, for the pipa, besides the classic right-hand tremolo techniques, left-hand playing is very important, and it's used to emphasize or to create lyrical and poetic moods. So notice the subtle articulation of note bends, slurs, vibratos, and harmonics. And in this piece, there are various sections which are thematic, and they represent a succession of nature scenes with variations and refrain. This piece is also called Drum and Flute Music at Sunset. When you hear it, it's like looking at a Chinese landscape that is painted on a silk scroll. So we performed this with the pipa and added ensemble, which makes the sound much richer. And we also brought out an instrument that you haven't seen earlier. This is the zither, long zither called guzheng, has 21 strings and movable bridges. So here is Moonlit River in Spring. This next piece is called Drinking Alone with the Moon. It's an original composition by Wang Guowei. It is based on a poem by Li Bai of the Tang Dynasty, and it's composed for a trio consisting of erhu, pipa, and dizi. So, drinking alone by himself, the poet invites the moon to come down to join him, and soon his shadow tags along, and together they make a merry trio. The erhu is the poet, pipa is the shadow, and dizi is the moon. So I'm going to read this relatively long poem, but it's fun. From a pot of wine among the flowers, I drank alone. There was no one with me, till raising my cup, I asked the bright moon to bring me my shadow and make us three. Alas, the moon was unable to drink, and my shadow tagged me vacantly. But still, for a while, I had these friends to cheer me through the end of spring. I sang, the moon encouraged me. I danced, my shadow tumbled after. As long as I knew, we were born companions. And then I was drunk, and we lost one another. Shall goodwill ever be secure? I watched the long road of the river of stars. Now it's my pleasure to invite David Ludwig to tell us about his piece, Kaifeng Siddur.
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much, Susan. This piece came about as a commission from Music for China, which is celebrating its 40th anniversary this year, which is amazing. And the piece is called Kaifeng Siddur. And I'm immediately going to apologize for both my pronunciation in Chinese and in Hebrew. So thank you for allowing me that grace. The piece is actually inspired by here, by this incredible space, this incredible synagogue, which I visited with Guowei, who will be singing, a couple of years ago. I had this commission. I wanted something to find that kind of space intercultural, because the Music from China, what they do is they commission composers who don't have a Chinese heritage or background to write for Chinese traditional instruments. And so I thought a sextet with 3 Chinese traditional instruments and 3, for lack of a better word, Western instruments, their counterparts, their analogs, would be very interesting. But then after being here, I thought very much about the Kaifeng Jews. And this was a community of Jews that lived in Kaifeng, China, 1,000 years ago. They probably came from Persia, modern-day Iran, but they settled in Kaifeng. There is not much evidence of them being there now. A couple of manuscripts, a foundation of an old synagogue, and that's all that's left, the ruins. And according to some folks who live there, some surnames that have made the transition over 1,000 years. And so what I wanted to do was recreate what a kind of makeshift service might be in a community area like this 1,000 years ago. So I used Mizrahi and Yemenite ancient Hebrew melodies and prayers. I should say a Siddur is a prayer book. And so I wanted to create that atmosphere, but also to use some Tang Dynasty folk music. And so all of this interweaves through the piece, which takes place in one arc. I also realized I did not want an operatic singer. That style of singing would not be heard for hundreds and hundreds of years and in the West. So I asked my very dear friend and colleague, Guowei, who you will be hearing very shortly, who is an incredible singer. I thought, who has a background in popular music, Chinese music, doesn't sing operatically, and realized that Guowei would be perfect for this. She is herself an incredibly accomplished composer out in the world, getting her doctorate at Princeton. And I'm just very, very honored to be in front of all of you now. The last thing I'll say is they teach us in composers school, never speak for longer than the piece is. So I'll leave it at that. It's about 14 minutes long. And just, again, want to thank these incredible musicians, Guowei, students, friends, family who have come out to hear this, and very much all of you. I hope you enjoy the piece. Thank you.
Mi ha ma לשמך ושפת הים, לאחת כולם חוטו והמליכו ויעמלו. אדוני ימלוך לעולם יהיה. שירה חדשה שיבחו גאולים לשמך ושפת הים ילך עולם חוטו והמליכו ויעמלו יחנה ימלוך לעולם יהיה. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נבר בקודש, נורא דלו אוסף Ahumechanu kotenu lefaneka achimarenu Ato haselicho bochi levavo gole amuko tove zedako hotonu lefanecha achima lenu Otu beniflao vatik benechamo zecha apitavo okekelayo otonu lefaneka ahima lenu katosh venoa ablahosha Achima lenu male ezakio nohatechilot olel avono onevezao odonu levanecha achima lenu oye Yeshua zofeha dio kone hato helao shomen ha tefilo teminte avo hodonu lefaneka achema lenu Eshkona ve'ahikanedo bami bahalina ve'ulayem zado ne'akavato belibi 보게가 내 셰카하바도 볼리 비보에가 미안 pueda도 nafshi alemaha ahufa yeshkona ve'achikanedo ahufa yeshkona ve'achikanedo bahim mibalina ve'achim henzado neshek ahavato belibi boecha neshek ahavato belibi boecha miam puedado nafshi alemacha afshan okuna ve'achikanedo围城，朝雨浥轻尘，可舍其境。六色心，全军更尽一杯酒。心